Hey guys, how's it going? CoreData here. Welcome back to another video. Today I'm playing some more cards, and we're taking a look at a very interesting deck, and that is US Italy Navy Midrange. So, this is a list. This is US Navy Midrange. This deck is super interesting, and possibly the deck that got the most out of the most recent balance patch. While no cards in this list got changed, no nerfs, no buffs, this deck did receive a huge buff in the sense that it received a timing change. So, previously, how this used to work is when you played a 22nd Marines and you played a Navy card, the Navy card would resolve before the Marine veteraned. This caused quite a lot of anti-synergy between 22nd Marines and USS Fitch, which was not great when it was like the only good Navy card that's as a package that released together and should, in theory, synergize with each other. It wasn't great to have one of the best synergy pieces just not synergize properly with one of the best units in the archetype. So they did change how this works. So now the Marines will flip, and then Fitch will resolve afterwards, meaning the veteran Marines will receive the buff from Fitch. This change fixes pretty much every issue this deck had originally, as well as one of the new cards from Air Supremacy being Airstrips. With these two changes, this deck very suddenly becomes very powerful. So what exactly is this deck? As I mentioned, it is a Navy-based mid-range deck. We are built around 22nd Marine as well as Semper Fi. Semper Fi is one of those cards that's like, okay, it's not great, but we do kind of have to run it because we really badly need critical mass of Navy units. As it stands, we just don't have enough Navy payoff. It's pretty much just 22nd Marines for the most part in this list. But Semper Fi gives us a ton more 22nd Marines. Also slaps Navy on top of them, so they can trigger each other, causing these big chain turns later in the game where you just go 22nd Marine, 22nd Marine, 22nd Marine, and they all veteran as you're doing it. So Semper Fi is it's okay, but absolutely necessary, if not just for critical mass of payoffs and Navy tags. So we're essentially a mid-range deck looking to get a 22nd Marine into the front line, veteran it, and basically use the double damage effect of the veteran side to very quickly kill our opponents. An unanswered 22nd Marines threatens so much damage. It is also fantastic versus very specific decks, such as the US-Soviet Brewster deck that's running on right now. A 22nd Marine with a Navy card on top, which is not hard to achieve. Just straight up trades into a 175th, so it costs your opponent a card plus a 6/6, a 3-cost 6/6, and it just trades down with a 2-drop. So this deck actually ends up being very good into some very specific decks. But it's an incredibly interesting deck. As I mentioned, we're on Airstrips. This is a card I spoke about last time in the Brit Italy video. This card's ability to generate both value as well as board interaction, as well as removal, as well as burn, while also being able to manipulate the top card of our deck to give us a Navy card on top. The effects of this card in this deck cannot be overstated. This is one of the single best cards this deck could have possibly gotten. The ability to stack Aroma on top to guarantee that our 22nd Marines deal double damage on that given turn is massive. The fact that our Roma is burn damage is massive. The fact that this deck technically has access to 23 points of damage just from Airstrips and the 2 RM Romas in the deck cannot be understated. This Airstrips is, I think, one of the best cards this deck received in from Naval Warfare and Air Supremacy. It's so powerful in this list. I don't think this list is playable without Airstrips. I'm glad that I was pretty correct on my assessment of this card. I know I spoke about it in the Air Supremacy review with Bear, that Airstrips on the surface could be very powerful. That is very much a mid-range card, and it enables a very specific deck. I'm glad I underestimated it a little bit, because it is so much better than I gave this card credit for. It's so insane in this list. I cannot stop singing the praise of this card. It's been so good in the last couple of decks I've played it in. Highly recommend testing out Airstrips. As for the other Navy cards, we are obviously running 2 copies of Roma, also just naturally in the main deck, just because it's solid removal, and again, we need critical mass of Navy stuff. We're running Tiger Cat as well, which is from Air Supremacy, just a solid value bomb in the late game. As for that, not really much of the new stuff. As I mentioned, we are running Fitch because we have to. It's a Navy card and probably the single best synergy piece in the deck for 22nd Marines, as well as Missouri as the final Navy piece rounding out the package. The rest of the deck is essentially just very, very good mid-range tools that US has access to. There's a few things, like there's a couple of interesting pieces we're running from Italy and choosing to not run from Italy. So we are running daggers. This is just very, very good tempo positive removal. Super cheap, very easy to fit into turns. Attacking the colonies is just very good into the aggro stuff. This is another reason why we're very good into like the aggressive Soviet or the aggressive US Soviet booster deck as well as Jagro. Just the ability to remove a threat and heal 5, very relevant in the deck. And we're running 2 copies of Spring Offensive just because we just really struggle for card draw. US main always has issues with card draw. And because we're a slightly slower infantry-focused deck, we can't really get away with Grum and Goose. Goose normally only ever draws us 1 to 2 cards. And it's delayed, so it's a little bit better to run Spring Offensive in that sense. Mobilization was worth considering, seen as with, like, alongside Semperfi, Mobilization is a little bit better, but we do not want to draw Tiger Cat or 5th Rangers with Mobilization, so I've chosen just to run Spring Offensive. We very rarely get the credit refund on this. There are exactly 9 units in deck that trigger the credit clause on this. So it's unlikely that we get refunded credits. It's basically in here just for like mid-game and late-game purposes, just to help us dig a little bit deeper. As for cards that I'm not playing, I did mention, I know I mentioned at some point during the gameplay, a card I had tested was First San Marco. This is a 3-cost 1-op 4/4. Deployment gets +2/+2 and Blitz if there's a Navy card on top of your deck. This basically ends up being a 3-cost 1-op 6/6 Blitzer, but it takes a little bit of work to get it going. Again, I mentioned this at some point in the video. If you're looking at First San Marco and you want like that stat line, that effect, that op cost, you're much better off just running 175th. 175th is like the exact same thing. Yeah, it gives you, it costs an extra card to get it into play, but it is so much easier to meet this requirement to get 6/6 Blitzer on turn 3 or turn 4 as opposed to San Marco where you have to set it up. Like you always pretty much have to play an airstrips or something beforehand to get the San Marco active, so you're always, it's costing you a card as well in the same way that Infantry Regiment does, but you also have to spend a credit on the card to set it up. So yeah, if that's a card you're looking at, you're just much better off with 175th. And another card that you could potentially be running is the Big Machi. I'm just not running it because I think we're heavy enough as it is. This does give you another big blitz threat, and it's another solid target for your spring offensives. Again, I just think we're curving high enough, and I think we have enough pressure in the form of the burn damage that we don't necessarily need the Machi, but it is a perfectly acceptable inclusion if you have it. But yeah, aside from that, the deck is super interesting. This is the deck that I have taken to Field Marshal this season. Took it from 6 to Field Marshal. Super, super solid deck. Super fun. It's got 2 bad matchups in the current metagame, and that is Legions. Well, Legions I think is unwinnable for the deck. This deck really struggles to deal with the basically infinite value that Legions can put out, and it can struggle occasionally into decks like Soviet Italy. However, with a decent opening hand, we are able to put on a ton of pressure on control decks, and we have the burn to help us close it out in the form of the Romas and airstrips. So Soviet Italy isn't the worst matchup, but it's certainly a matchup that can be quite difficult given depending on the hand and the opponent's hand. So yeah, like I said, this deck is super fun. Highly recommend checking out, and hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and on to some games. Into Germany. Yeah, I am like 99% sure that Legions is our single worst matchup, and I'm pretty sure it's like not even close. Against Germany, we keep Rangers, we keep Infantry. Tempted to keep Spring Offensive just because I know this is going to be a slightly longer match. Find attack and we find airstrips. Find Semperfi. I think next turn we just Semperfi, honestly. Yeah, no, the Sabe's ability to be just jammed into Legions. Why does this only ever happen to me? Why is this my innate ability to just queue into the single worst decks I could possibly queue into? God. Oh, for the love of God, why? Oh. This is so annoying every time. Have you got the route for my 2-3 as well? You sure do. I love video games. Video games are great. Oh, yeah, so the converts were 2 suppresses, which are necessary in this matchup. Our 1 endgame value option. Oh. It's just... I know it's variance. It's just my ability to hit the most, like, ridiculous pockets of variance one after the other. I think this is an attack in the colonies on this turn. I thought about Spring Offensive, but I have Marines next turn. I'm probably just going to draw another Navy Marine off the top. I also have 5th Rangers that I can push into the front line. So the Spring Offensive can wait. Poor bastard. This is so ridiculous. We'll play the second Semper once we've seen the Navy Marines off the top. Find ourselves Seahawk. Yeah, I think this is just Rangers. Just jam some stuff into the front line here. He could have 108 for this. It's like the one clean out. Suppression is fine. It still leaves me a 4-4. Stretch, yeah. I am more than happy to spend 4 operating this. I just think someone at 1939 does not like me. I feel like someone at 1939 has rigged my RNG. So this is gonna get answered with Crossfire, which is like fine. Bergman. Route. Cycles, Crossfire, or trade. That's fine. So this one should be Navy, correct? It is Navy. Is this one Navy? I can't tell. So I was saying you need cleansing. I mean, I could see Hawk. This might also just be an airstrips line. I could also just go Spring Offensive. Yeah, we'll try Spring Offensive here. Okay, so we know what we're doing next turn. Go for airstrips. Start taking damage here. Do you normally save airstrips until you get veteran Marines in the front line? No. Airstrips is just solid value. Frequently I'll crack airstrips just to get Breda. Yeah, of course, picks two Marines. So we go Marine, Go RM Roma here. And another Marine. Production, push these forward. Yeah, just airstrips is just very, very good value in general. Frequently, you'll crack it for the Breda or to, like, actively get the Roma on the following turn to clear something. Like, if you're suspecting, like, a Seahawk, or if you need to clear a Coronado, for example. Also, how are you doing, Redstone? Hope you're doing well. Nice to see you in chat. They don't have any crossfire... Well, they could have a crossfire line here if they have the third route. But this does threaten like 12 damage by itself. Carpathian. Sure. Okay, so it's just like Germany, Poland, mid-range. Second Jagdpanzer. Hits the Semperfi, which is fine. There is the Roma. I can go Marine here. I can go Roma. I could also Spring Offensive first. Strat Bombing is very good. Can Roma here. Take this trade. I don't particularly want to take a trade is the thing. But I can't leave the Jagdpanzer up because with my luck, it always hits the strat bombing. Missequenced that, but it's fine. I should have played the Marine first. Only sent like twice so far, but I do have to say I like what they do with the Marines. Yeah, it's actually really, really powerful. But we've just queued into a... we've just been having a horrendous matchup. Yeah, I screwed up with the order of that turn. Have for freedom. We have the Breda. It goes for Hipper. That's fine. Drop the Breda. I'll drop Seahawk. Probably gonna see capitulation here. I would imagine. I have not been tracking how many Romas we've played like naturally from the deck. Wolves of Vision, yeah. The Breda plus Denuda. There's a Roma. This, I think, is the second Roma from our deck. See, normally I would like to conceal this because people don't really play around the Romas of Airstrip all that much. But I need to clear the Denuda. My Missouri is not going to really matter this match. I could go for freedom on this. Or I can spend it on the Seahawk and just get him for an extra point of damage, but it's... But if they answer the Seahawk, they can just trade here. But this gets got by route. Just a lot of very awkward decisions. This has not been a straightforward game. Like, I know for a fact they're on... They have to be playing 108 Panzergrenz. Playing number 20 Panzer Grenadier, that's fine. 35T. Suppression on the Seahawk, yeah. Bind arms. More Marines. This is like a decent Missouri. Pretend it doesn't exist. Yeah, we'll go Missouri. We'll cycle a card here again. Find another Marine. I do want to... I can... I could pin this. Just so they can't trade, I could pin it. Am I going to regret pinning it? I think it's worth it, just stop the trade. Or like the trade potential. Again, this has been an incredibly awkward matchup. And they have research. Flying bomb kills the Marine. Second Danuta. God, they have had every conceivable answer so far. Second dagger is great. Lets me clear off the Danuta at least. Oh, it doesn't because of the thing. Oh. I forgot. They're even. The game was rigged from the start. Well, there's an airstrips. This lets me clear the Danuta. Go here. Go Brit. So now I'm threatening lethal. They have to remove the Marine. Because the Roma on top now is just like actual factual lethal. Any new cards? I'm playing some of the new stuff from Air Supremacy. We're playing Airstrips right now. I think Airstrips is the only Air Supremacy card in this list. Uprising. Brother. Brother, let me play the video game. Oh my god. Oh, this is actually torture. Show me the Alpenfestung. Sure. You know there's a Roma in hand. I have to hold Fitch, I think. Because I still have another Hellcat in deck. So technically... Well, no, I can't do Fitch, Roma, Hellcat. But like, Roma, Hellcat is lethal. Spending the Fitch here I don't think makes much sense. Of course summons this shit for... yeah. I have the most, like, absurd luck when it comes to what I find on ladder and what I queue into. Maybe one day we'll get there. Maybe one day we'll be able to kill this opponent. I knew it. I knew. I didn't want to say anything because I knew it. I have to Roma that because I'm dead to like attack, Leopold attack, Comet, shifting attack, Comet. I'm presenting exactly 5. Show me the second uprising. Oh, God. Alpenfesting. I'm assuming the Alpenfesting is like in the middle of the hand here somewhere. Carpathians. Crossfire. Seahawk. Oh my god. Alright. Capitulation. I mean, capitulation in theory still doesn't quite save them? Question mark? Saw your YouTube video with JKing. Oh, the deep cuts. Lucky plus. It wasn't lucky actually because I played Roma last turn. Roma sets the top card to Navy for the next until the end of your next turn. So it was guaranteed. There's the capitulation. Which is why Roma and airstrips are so good. Alright. Show me yet another answer. Alright, he showed me yet another answer. However, I require yet another answer. I have a deck idea on exactly that, yeah. Yeah, no, airstrips and Roma are very, very powerful if you're, like, trying to do anything Navy synergy focused. Particularly with the, with the manipulation of the top deck. Well, that's a good sign as to not having the crossfire. Third Carpathian. Oh, thank God! I'm released from this from this prison. We are free from this hell finally. Christ above. Okay, yet more Germany. Against Germany, I'm inclined to keep Spring Offensive and Rangers. I'm going to have time to play offensive, so we'll risk it. Find more Rangers. Okay, well, I guess we're just gonna be staring at each other for a little while. It was predicted BM. Is Jade Division going? No, Jade Division is still oh, excuse me. Jade Division is still staying. It's just Kokura's sword is going. Blitz Doctrine. I cannot wait to never have to look at this card again. Boy, oh boy, can I not wait for this card to just leave. Point Blitz Panzer. We were all so quiet on that one. Yep. I'm tempted to go for Spring Offensive here. But, like, there's exactly 9. There's 9 units in the deck that trigger it, and I've drawn 3. I've drawn 4 of them, rather, so there's 5 hits in the deck that refund me credits. So it makes more sense to go for Rangers here until I have more credits. And then Military Pits, that's great. Yeah, I did say I like the Heinz player in me is sad, but the everything else player in me is so glad that it's gone. Big Schutzen for freedom. For freedom is a pretty clean answer to this. Does enable a crossfire. Find attack in the colonies here. So this always happens. They now have the opportunity to like trade here, go crossfire. So the question is, do I protect this now with attack? I think I do. This now forces second Schutzen or crossfire, I think. Yeah, there's a crossfire. Find a Seahawk off the top. Just go 101st, I think. Get the burn damage off. The ambush might be relevant here against like a Panzer Grenadier. Henschel. That's fine. We find Fitch. We find Fitch. Yeah, they can take a trade. I'm like fine with that. They can route trade. Second Henschel is like annoying, but fine. Oh, it's France ally. Okay. We hadn't seen ally yet. I think this might just be Hellcat trade swing. I think. The fetch timing buff, yeah, that's the entire reason why I'm on this deck. This deck received nothing from balance changes, but the timing change on fetch is so incredibly important. This is very annoying. I do have M10s in the deck. Speak of the devil, this also clears. I'll play the Seahawk here instead. Can't imagine how that happened. No idea. I don't know anyone that was rallying for a timing change on that because it didn't make any sense. Sky Barons. Africa Corps. I mean, I just play an 8-8 Rangers and push it forward. Forces and Alpenfestung, if they have it. Tiger Cat's great. Yeah, this just forces Alpen if they have it, or they can try and block me out with another Grenadier regiment, or whatever it's called. I am running Semperfi in this list. Just because it helps with the critical mass of Navy cards to help trigger Marines. Also, just playing Semperfi on one is fine because it gives you a couple of turns of just playing Marines, drawing cards, and giving massive board pressure. Second Henschel, okay. They have a clear here. Oh, airstrips. Airstrips represents lethal next turn with just Hellcat plus Roma, so... So, again, he needs Alpenfestung or he needs, like, Capitulation or something here, but even then, Capitulation doesn't save him. Has to be exactly Alpen to not die to hand, yeah. Yeah, we take that. Up against Germany yet again. I will say, we have had two very different flavors of Germany so far. So are we going to make this the third different flavor of Germany? This is like... This is not a bad hand to keep into Germany. Like, Daggers is great against Henschel and 108 Panzergrenz. It's not something I need in my opener, though. I think Roma, 2nd Marines, and 5th Rangers we're all keeping. Yeah, I think we'll do it like this. Oh! Oh! Oh, we're golden. Never seen a match with good but painful information. Oh, yeah, exactly. Best combo. I'm guessing 114th isn't the Elephant Boys, is it? It is. Okay, good to know. I'm so used to just everyone calling them the Elephant Boys. Lovely curves. Oh, thank you. Yeah, so I think next turn... Okay, so it's the third different flavor of Germany. So we push this. We for freedom this, so Crossfire doesn't get it. Go strips. There's an argument to be made for going strips next turn and playing Fitch. Goes for War Bonds. Yeah. I mean, it wouldn't have mattered either way, because I'm not swinging with the Marine this turn. I think I just Fitch and swing. Because next turn, I'm now threatening lethal with RM Roma. Seahawk does not do it. Seahawk does not save you from this. Ah, yes. This is how these German matchups normally go, by the way. Just so we're clear. One, before I finally finish this rant. He's done for now. Oh no, he's not. Oh no, he's not. Even if you just like compare Crossfire to like Regia Aeronautica. I mean, you know, another special board clear in an Ally Nation. Ally Nation cards are usually meant to be better. But when you put Reginautica and or Aeronautica and Crossfire next to each other, there's like no competition. Okay, now the rant is over. I just wanted to get that out there. I could just go airstrips for freedom here, draw the Roma immediately. But yeah, if you guys want to send that clip to the staff of 1939, that'd be great. For that realism. Oh. Are we playing against like chain home stuff? Are we playing against chain home stuff? Because I'm like the only person since Naval Warfare came out that has played 40 Royal Marines. No, not Roma. We'll go Brit here. Push this forward. Yeah, it would be useless if it just hit the front line. There are things they can do. Ideally, push it to 5, make it symmetrical. Problem solved. Slows it down out of the ramp decks and makes it so you can only play it in control realistically. But like, Oh my god, this is like my deck. That's so funny. When I was laddering, like, was it the day before yesterday, I ran into someone, like, card for card on the chain home list I posted on Saturday. Okay, it's a slightly different version, but very cool that people are playing chain home. I think we go daggers here. Next turn we go airstrips Fitch. 70th Brigade. Monty. So we go here. Ah. That is something they should probably change. Okay, right. The card draw side of this is... yeah. The fact that it draws the card before the Fitch finishes resolving? It's fine. It's still, like, way better than it was. Dilemma, sure. Chain home, yeah, figures. The funny thing is, we actually struggled to answer this. M10 is good, but I'd like to keep that for, like, the second one, or the slashers. One probably doesn't have a full collection for your deck. Potentially. I think this is a worthwhile Roma. Get the Brit down here. Trade Hellcat. No, I'd rather hold the Hellcat. Attacking the colonies. Yeah, this is, like, not a great matchup for us. I like that people are actually playing Brit Italy now, though. Convoy. Rangers. Let's give it 4-4. Frontline it. So I've already seen Monty, so there's no Cromwell suppression that can happen here. Co-belligerence? Sure. Second spring offensive. Daggers and Fitch. We'll get the infantry up because it's slower than the Hellcat. I just need to be very aware. Like, we're at the turn now where they can go Alpini plus, like, Formidable or Chain Home. They have just the Alpini. They can still Formidable or Chain Home me. This is, like, a decent suppress. Daggers is unfortunately not online because they're all 4 attack. Pinning it doesn't do anything. There's likely another Alpini in the hand. They could also just be holding up Ultra. Could play the Hellcat, but I don't want to feed a Formidable here. I'm just gonna hold it. You can roam it. I think the Roma is going to be much more important as a piece of burn, because next turn I have like Hellcat Roma, or like I can maybe set up a Fitch. Second M10 here is really good. Yeah, there's the Ultra. So it has to be second Alpini formidable here, I think. Basically, this hinges on the second Alpini. They have the Rangers here. Okay, that's a really good top deck. 8, 9, 10. Yeah, this is lethal. Missouri was the single best top deck in the deck. I always feels off to hang 7 credits. I mean, it was correct. I figured it was going to be Ultra being held up, and it just didn't make sense to burn anything into the Ultra that turn. I actually want to check. What are we up against? Germany? Yeah, of course we're up against Germany. Why wouldn't it be Germany? There we go. Oh, excuse me. We ditched Pathfinders. Kind of tempted to ditch Hellcat here. I don't think we need daggers. Airstrips and infantry are fine. Okay, this is actually a decent hand. Turn 1, infantry. Turn 2, marines. Turn 3, push marines. Airstrips. Also have Semper Fi. Semper Fi is probably better than airstrips this turn. Or like next turn, rather. Bergman Battalion. Just play the Marines. If this gets routed, that's fine. You need to trade then route. Yep. War Machine. Another 164th. Push this. We'll go Semper Fi. All, I think, relatively fine conversions. Both for freedoms are gone, which is unfortunate, but everything else is fine. No, it doesn't matter if I airstrips now or later. I'll play 164 and leave it in the back line. I got queued into Soviet quite a lot recently. Oh, interesting. Are they going to push the Bergman? Blitz Doctrine. Said it once, I will say it again. I cannot wait for this card to leave the format. I'm not going to bother with the airstrips this turn. I'm going to play airstrips next turn, and then I'm going to swing Breda. Contest Doctrine. War Machine. Find Rangers off top. Yeah, we're just going for Breda here. So we know there's a Roma on top. Yeah, Soviet Italy is, I think, equally as bad as the Legion matchup. There's Roma. I can strips again. The reason I'm very aggressively playing the airstrips here is with this Breda attack next turn, if I Breda face and then Roma, I can just double Roma on turn 8 for lethal. So I can just lethal them from hand. Like, in theory. If this... I mean, there's a world where this is, like, nothing. Yeah, so, like, next turn, Roma should just be lethal. I don't think there's any countermeasures that stop this. There's no Alpenfestung. War Machine. Push. Yeah, there it is. Do you see what I mean about airstrips versus Germany? It's the greatest thing since sliced bread. Rank 2, let's go. Up against Britain? Or is it US? It is Britain. I think we'll do it like this. Solid top deck. We are going first. I would like to find a 2-drop here, because if this 40 Royal Marines, if this hand is like not great for us. A stat nerf is what was needed. If they had nerfed it to a 3-4, I would have understood. At 4 health, it dies to a lot of things. But the fact that it was -1, the fact that it went from a 4-6 to a 3-5 changes nothing about, like, the breakpoints. The breakpoints for 4 health are a lot more common. Is that 2 Rangers and a Seahawk? Yeah. Find Fitch. This just gets Royal Marined every time. Beta Som. Okay, so, I mean, it is Brit Italy. Beta Som is not good, though. Having done a ton of testing with this, like, on Brit Italy, that the entire reason I was playing airstrips was because it was so much better than Beta Som. Because he was likely looking at some combination of, like, USS Fitch, Mikura, and another unplayable... another unplayable Navy card. So, top card is Navy until end of turn. For the opponent. Yeah, this is what I mean. This is what I mean. This is why Beta Som sucks. So I go for freedom here. Okay, I was looking for a Navy Marine, but I can just Fitch next turn. They know about the spring offensive. They're on airstrips as well. They're playing both. BPF, yeah. Sure. Are you Navy? You are Navy. I mean, you can Roma something here. Also, BPF is bad. Do not run BPF. I know it hit the two most relevant cards in my hand, but I had 3 cards. The odds were pretty good it was going to hit something relevant. Marines here. Oh, baby. Yeah. I just play Roma and they die. Or I just play airstrips with Roma. They're instantly just dead to the front line. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like I said, this deck is a ton of fun. I think Navy Midrange is actually probably one of the better US decks right now. I think this actually is much better than the US-Italy Midrange, or like the standard Midrange / control version of this deck that's running around right now. This is far better at like outputting pressure on decks like Germany, for example, as you likely saw in the video. As I mentioned, its worst matchup is by far Legions, but Legions isn't all that common. I did queue into it like 3 times on stream, which was very unfortunate. However, aside from that, the deck is super solid. Hope you guys check it out. Like I said before, remember to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and we'll catch you in the next one. Peace.